awesome for not only the quarterback market, but for just the market of players in general. You want the salary cap to keep going up. You want players to keep getting more and more money. And when I signed my deal, I knew I was going to be pretty set for life, regardless of what the market kind of happens. But you just keep playing. I mean, money is one thing, but when you get those Super Bowl rings at the end of your career, I think that's gonna be the thing that you look back upon. And I think I've made enough money from the football field and then obviously off of it as well that it won't matter at the end of the day. I think, especially at the quarterback position, kind of the next guy is the top paid guy. Any of these top tier quarterbacks, they make such a difference on NFL football teams that it's going to get passed up. And I mean, even if you look at guys that signed last year to this year, they got passed up. And I'm sure when Burrow, Herbert, and Russell and all these guys come around, they'll keep setting the bar even higher. And so I always want to make sure that you always want to get paid. Like I said, take care of your family, but I want to have a great team around me as well. And so whatever way that is, I'm going to make sure I have a great team around me the rest of my career.
Look, that's his prerogative. That's his right. That's his choice. He signed through 2031, which keeps him from being the next guy to surpass whoever's making the most at any given time. He's taking the leap of faith that the Chiefs at some point will recognize we got a problem here and we got to take care of this. This is getting embarrassing what Patrick Mahomes is making. He's still at $45 million a year and the market's at $75 million a year. And it could get there by the end of the decade the way the cap is going. And again, it's his choice. It's his prerogative. But, Chris, what struck me after I had a chance to digest his comments, it worked for the Patriots to get Tom Brady to take less and use the attitude on everyone around him that they should take less too. I don't think it's working for the Chiefs. Tyreek Hill's not there because he wouldn't take less. Orlando Brown didn't sign last week or on the 15th when the deadline came and went for franchise tag players. He didn't take less. So they're really not getting the full advantage of the hammer that comes from having a quarterback who willingly takes less, so you can have a team that isn't just stars making market value, but starters across the board who are getting good money and backups who are getting good money, so you constantly have that good team around the quarterback. So it worked for the Patriots. It isn't working yet for the Chiefs.
Yeah, well, I think there's two things that jump out to me. One, hey, the Patriots, for lack of a better way, had a bunch of robots. They had a certain type of guy on their football team that to me is just different than Kansas City. Kansas City's got a little bit more, hey, Andy Reid, they're into a little bit more renegades. We're into a guy that might make a mental mistake every now and then, but he makes 7 freaky plays after that, and oh my gosh, that's amazing. So they're a little bit different as far as the type of guys that are and how they're wired in their organization. I think that would be the first thing I would say. And then, hey, I mean, listen, it's a good conversation. Is it working? I'm going to be one to say it is working. It is. It's hard. They're really good. They spent a ton of money last year. I mean, Joe Tooney's there. I mean, they're paying Chris Jones as one of the top D tackles in football. Travis Kelce's top tight end in football. They've made big moves that way to where I do think it's helping their football team. But, yeah, the Orlando Brown thing, I think that one especially is the one you look at to go, wait, this guy protects Mahomes, and this is why he did take a little less money to make sure that, he can have guys like this protecting him and they can be dangerous that way. So I do think it's working. I just don't think it's that easy all the time, especially when they go for really big-time blue-chip players. They do. That's where they're a little bit different than New England that way, too. They're not afraid to go out and say, oh, wait, we saw a guy on another team. He's really good. We're going to bring him here and make him the man. Or, take advantage of a guy coming out in the draft who might not be perfect as far as off-the-field stuff, but they take him and they make him the man, and, yeah, then they want to be paid. So they have to deal with that personality a little bit more than New England, too.
But that's the problem.
I know.
It's working to the extent that they're still good, but it's not working to the extent that Tyreek Hill doesn't take their best offer and wants out. And Orlando Brown doesn't take their best offer before the deadline for signing franchise tag players to multi-year deals and could be out after next season because if you're willing to go year to year for 2 years, you make your way to the open market and you're gone. And what they gave up to get him in the trade with the Ravens is just gone. So they didn't bargain for that. They expected when they traded him. And this was mentioned last week by Jeff Chadiha of NFL Network, the idea that the Chiefs were frustrated a deal wasn't done and they thought they were getting a different guy. They thought they were getting a guy basically, and I'm paraphrasing here, they thought they were getting a guy who was going to do a deal that wasn't, from his perspective, trying to break the bank
Yeah.
and get to the top of the market. The kind of deals that Patrick Mahomes is talking about. It's a tough needle for Patrick Mahomes to thread, because when you start saying, hey, you know what, it works for me to make so much money, $500 million over 12 years, I'm set for life. And I understand other guys are going to try to get more and more and more, and that's okay for them. Well, guys in your locker room are going to hear that. So it's okay for us too. Patrick, you're making your $500 million and you got all these other deals and you don't want it. You're not pushing for it. You just want Super Bowl rings. That's fine. Well, the rest of us want to get paid market value. And you're not, and it's a subtle thing. It's a very subtle thing. But when Patrick Mahomes is basically giving everyone in the locker room the nod to go get as much money as they can, it's kind of hard to make the Stepford Patriots thing work in Kansas City.
Yeah, no, it is. It is. I think there's a lot of things that play into that. Let's not forget, it's still a really good team and a really good roster. So yeah, but I think Orlando Brown's the one that is a little bit eye popping. Hey, Tyreek Hill again. I know, yes, Mahomes took less money and all that, but I don't look at that as being like they offered him big time money. They just weren't willing to go to like, oh my gosh, money at his age. And I think, again, I think that's good business. It's not, and then they spent the money elsewhere, and they got some receivers in there, and we're going to see. I'm not wrong. I don't think anything wrong with that decision, and I think there was money there to pay him and make him pretty happy. So, again, I think that was there. There's other factors that play into that. And then with the Orlando Brown one, yeah, I mean, I saw and I've heard the same thing you said. I mean, I don't think they thought Orlando Brown, who as of right now and what you hear is looking to be, like wham, bam, thank you, ma'am, the highest paid left tackle ever. I mean, that to me is probably what they did not expect. And I understand that. And he's, really good. But I don't think he's like been that good to the point to where you just go, oh, I want to be blow the market out. And Trent Williams, the hell with his contract. I want to make significantly more than him. That probably surprises the Chiefs, yes.
Right, but let's keep this in mind.
Yeah.
A guy that becomes the highest paid left tackle in league history isn't necessarily the best left tackle in league history.
I know.
Or the best left tackle in the game.
I know.
He's just a guy who was in the right place at the right time to take advantage of the confluence of circumstances
No doubt.
and leverage himself into that. Usually it happens on the first day of free agency, and it will happen for Orlando Brown the first day of free agency 2024 unless the Chiefs take care of him next year or unless he just completely falls off the face of the earth. Because the cap, this is the thing that we all need to keep in mind, and the players especially, the cap is going to keep shooting up. The cap is going to keep going up. And that's the reality here as we consider Orlando Brown and his expectation.
Yeah.
And that's why Kyler Murray, at 46-1, the cap's going to keep going up. You're signing for 7 years. Your deal's going to be obsolete. I think this is a factor for all these guys. Where's the cap now and where's the cap going? And where the cap is going needs to get discussed more when we talk about what guys are getting paid now. Because it's a huge factor in what they're getting paid now, where the cap is going to be next year, the year after, and the year after that, because I think it's going to keep shooting up and up and up, Chris.
Yeah, I mean, I don't disagree with you there either, Mike. I mean, it's a money train right now. The NFL's killing it. And the way last year went with the ratings and everything there, and, the gambling and all that, it seems like it's all going up, up, and up.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.